Hey guys, welcome back. It's time. We got a video, and I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking out there. Rattle, why are you covering this drama? Well, it goes beyond drama. It's not just drama when you get into threats of violence and actual violence. There's no place for that at any events, at anything like this. It's unacceptable to every extent. So we're covering this. If it was just two guys saying they were gonna bone each other's mom, I don't care. But when it gets to the point that you're going to threaten to beat the shit out of somebody, and it gets to the point that you're going to shove someone in their face in person at a game store, that's the story. That's the allegations here. We're going to go through. I got two interviews, Deals and RBK, who were speaking out against Robo. I did message Robo. Robo responded. Robo stopped responding when I asked to do a interview type, I guess, his side of the story. I'd love to hear every side of the story here, and he is still very welcome to respond to me and make a video follow-up. If he would like to dispute any of the claims that are being made here, then he's welcome to do so. As always, if you're a scammer, if you're someone that's being accused of something and you're on the channel here, you are very, very welcome to do a follow-up and share your side. Now, the post, very alarming post here by Pokemon Deals Community, says, I never thought someone would threaten to fight me at a local game store, much less actually putting hands on me while doing so. No matter the argument or dispute, it is never okay to do something like this. To make it worse, they denied it when I informed the store owner of their actions. I am appalled by this influencer and their actions, going to follow up with the game store with requested footage this weekend. And if we do get that footage, we will definitely make a follow-up on that. But I don't know. There seems to just be a violent tendency here. I shouldn't have to explain to anyone that that is unacceptable. I don't care if the person's if they're a scammer, if they stole from you, if whatever. It's still not a good idea to physically assault or threaten them with violence. It's not a good idea. Saying it right here. We should all know this. Yes, this is the adult end of the hobby that we have to teach them that, hey, you're not a kid anymore. This isn't the playground. No, you can't just beat the kid up. There's no adult bullying. That doesn't happen. It's physical assault. You can get in a lot of trouble for it. I shouldn't have to tell that to adults, but apparently we do. All right. Another follow-up post here. On December 8th, 2023, 5 p.m., I was assaulted by a TikTok influencer by the name of Roboskillz. We were having an argument at a local card shop over a previous conflict, but things took a turn for the worse when he threatened to beat the blank shit, probably, out of me. Or fuck. Either one. Then he closed the distance between us and forcefully shoved his finger to my face. So the old finger jab in the face. Yes, it's still assault. Oh my God, guys, please. Turns out he had a violent history and has burned many bridges in the Pokemon, One Piece, and TCG communities in general. Since Friday, I've had multiple people reach out with their own accounts / experiences with this person. So we have here a DM, I guess, to Deals that says, hey, heard you had issues with probably fuckboy Robo. I used to be friends with him. He stayed with me a few days, and last day he threatened to fight me. I'm 6'2" and 220 at the time, so he was going to lose it, and he threw my chair and keyboard while staying in my house. I had to kick him out at 1 in the morning. I got all my texts from him saved. He blew me up, and I never responded, LOL. So it's looking a whole lot like this is a reoccurring event. It's not like he had a bad day. He decided he did something stupid. It seems like there are anger issues present, and hopefully he gets those checked out if that's the case, because you can't just go around breaking people's stuff, assaulting people, threatening to beat the shit out of them. That's not how life works as an adult. My apologies. Now, RBK, the second person that we'll have a little short interview with here at the tail end of this video. Says, part 1, back in April of this year, I allowed Robo to stay at my house when he was visiting because I thought we were friends. After staying at my house for 4 or 5 days, he went ballistic on me, saying I should punch you in the face right now. I tried to de-escalate the situation. Part 2, he continued to threaten me in my house at midnight. He threw my keyboard and my chair, all while my wife was in the house. I eventually kicked him out after my wife got involved. He continued to blow up my text and refused to apologize to my wife to this day. What do we got here? Part 3. I don't care if he apologizes to me. After 6 months, he proceeded to reach out to me again after I took a break from the community due to my uncle dying of cancer and other mental health reasons. To this day, he continues to belittle and attack me. So we got the DMs there. I will show some of these DMs. I guess while we do the interviews, I can have them on screen, pop up on screen here. But yeah, it's just like it's. I don't understand it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That it should never bring it. If you disagree with someone, just you don't like each other, just stay away from each other. The hobby, the community, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is big enough that you don't have to interact with each other. Even if you're at the same events, the events are big enough that you don't have to interact with each other. Just stay away from each other and it'll be fine. You don't need to threaten each other. You don't need to keep it going. You don't need to send angry messages over and over again. You don't need to fight each other. You don't need to, is it that hard, guys? Please. To make it clear to everyone involved that I did reach out to Robo. Here it is. I say, what's going on? Are you assaulting people and or threatening to? And I send him a picture of the Twitter claims. I say, would love to hear your side of the story. And he says, hey, no, not at all. And I appreciate that, Rattle. I'm like having to film this, and I just didn't think I'd have to deal with this on a random Monday. But this guy has been a stain on the One Piece community here in the Bay and has just decided to be extremely disrespectful one day. He was called out on it, and then it has snowballed to the nothing burger he put online. I'm like in a storm of DMs, ats, and messages, but more than happy to share the actual truth and give you a full recant of all the interactions, which is honestly not very many. I have probably in totality interacted with this deplorable human 1 hour of my total lifespan, and he's gone from disrespecting me to now this. So yeah, now I have nothing nice to say about it, but previous to the disrespect, I had taken no issue with this individual whatsoever. He can provide a single negative comment or insult to him or his loved ones by me, because it just doesn't exist. But I have the ending of my first interaction with him, the second which was out of the blue, and the third I'll just have to tell the actual story. So I respond with, and he's been online many times since then. If he was going to tell me the story, if he's like, again, if he changes his mind and would like to come on and share his story, I say, would you like to record a call tonight? We can run through all of your interactions with him. And a little reminder here, 12 hours later, approximately, I say available for that tonight. No response. And he is very online, often online. He did respond. No response after I asked him if he would like to record a statement to clear up any misconceptions. So that's where we lie on that one. All right, let's get into the, I guess, interviews, the statements that are made. First, we'll be talking to Deals. Here that is. We are here with a Pokemon Deals community. We got a little bit of an alarming post that went up on Twitter, or I guess a couple posts at this point in time. So just looking to get the entire story, the entire scoop, or what's going on here, with some seems like a little bit of violence going on, or at least a threat of violence, which is never really acceptable, regardless of the situation. But if you'd like to tell us the history of you and the alleged perpetrator. And then all the way through I guess the most recent events that the post was about.
Yeah. So hey guys, this is Adrian from PDC. I guess this entire conversation is around my interaction with a TikTok influencer by the name of Roboskillz, Robert Hudson. Yeah, I mean, I met Rob through a friend of a friend. At the time, I thought he was a friend of a friend, and so I was doing him a favor and selling some product to him at basically my cost. Later learned that that friend was just trying to get Robert off his back, so it was kind of like a moot point. But that's how I got in touch with Roboskillz, and we were on good terms, and I offered to sell him restock of the same product. And then unfortunately, this was a couple months ago, but there was a burglary theft in my building, and I lost about $3,000 worth of product. Some of the product was supposed to go to Roboskillz. basically Robert took that as an opportunity to take advantage of me. He basically acted like I owed him something and would constantly he would ghost me whenever I offered him product, and he would spam my messages whenever he needed something from me. And at some point I cut him off and I said, hey, I only did it out of a favor, but we're not friends, you know, go bother someone else. That's when he kind of went on a tirade and like basically spam messages to me. I ignored it, and that was that, right? You know, so you know, closer to this year, I started playing a card game called One Piece TCG, and I joined a local community that was really wholesome and friendly and welcoming. And it was only recently that I actually learned that the moment I stepped foot into that community, Roboskillz actually told all those community leaders that I was trouble and that I shouldn't be part of this community. So he was essentially gatekeeping me. It was really weird considering that, you know, our conflict was relatively little and very small. And so I just didn't understand why he would have such a harsh agenda against me. But yeah, it was pretty demoralizing, and I, you know, confronted him publicly. You know, in a Discord, I basically said, "Hey, Roboskillz sucks. Not a joke. He is genuinely a terrible person." Yeah, and then Robo kind of did his Robo thing where he launched a tirade against me on the Discord. The mods had to get involved, and we were basically both warned not to mess with each other, which, you know, I agreed. I didn't make any messages outside of that. Plus, fast forward into last Friday, I entered the card shop, and he was there. He glared at me, like did a death glare, and I was like, "Hey, what are you looking at?" And then we started getting into a conflict. So we started arguing with each other, and then that's when he threatened to beat the shit out of me, and he asked to take it outside multiple times, in which I said, "Hey, on a good day, I'm 5'7". You are like 6'3". I'm not going to fight you. And I do not want, like, I have so much to lose. There's no way I would fight anyone. This is the card shop. We're here to play card games, not here to battle it out." And so, like, he would try to egg me on a couple more times, and at some point he realized that I wasn't biting, and then he walked right in front of me, and he basically pointed in my face, except instead of just pointing in my face, he actually just struck me in my face, kind of like that force. So it's not like he punched me in my face, but at that point it escalated into a physical altercation. I informed the store manager, and like, it was a big event. It was really noisy and crowded, and so no one really had a accurate assessment of what happened, and so there was no like real like, oh, he did this, he did that. So I asked Robo, did you or did you not do this? And I repeated what I did, what he did to me. And Robo denied everything and even claimed that I was the one who threatened to fight him. Anyone who knows me knows that, you know, that
doesn't sound like a real thing.
Look at these arms, man.
Yeah.
Look at these arms. I don't lift. But yeah, that's what happened. And so, like, right now I like that this was over the weekend. I've been mulling it over, and he reached out to a couple of mutual acquaintances. And so I was hoping that, you know, he would get a clearer picture, and I'd hope that he would reach out to apologize and squash it, just so that, you know, everyone in the community can just be, you know, okay with everything, right? Like, I don't have to feel like it's swept under the rug that he put his hands on me and threatened to beat the crap out of me.
Right. If you don't get along with someone, the answer is not to go outside for a fist fight. It's, you know, ignore each other. Even if you're at the same game store, go to a different table. You don't have to play against each other necessarily, I guess, maybe unless there's like an event or something. But
yeah, I actually I went to a game store. Like, I went to an event yesterday, and he was there, and it just sucks. Like, I actually felt like I had to, like, be face forward in front of him at all times, because I just didn't know if he would just clock me in the back of my head. Like, that was a legit worry of mine. And the reason why I got that worry compared to, you know, Friday, where it was just fresh in my head, is, you know, over the weekend I've had countless people reach out to me telling me about his violent history, right? That one screenshot I shared on Twitter or X is true. He was friends with someone, crashed over at their house, and got into a argument with them, and then ended up throwing their chair and their keyboard around the house, scaring their wife, and never apologizing for it. I actually spent the last 6 months spam texting that person and harassing them. So this isn't the only incident that I know of Robo. Some of it is violent, and some of it is not. You know, he's had a bad reputation across many resellers and stores in the Bay Area, and just not just Bay Area, but you know, across the U.S. I mean, I know that recently he's even asked for he's asked a shop for a personal spending stipend, and also to fund his plane ticket, his hotel fees, and the entrance fee, so that he could go around playing One Piece, you know, to Florida.
As a pro player or something?
As a pro player, yes. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with that. Like, get your bag, right? But if you're not providing equal value to, you know, a business, don't ask for so much. Yeah. And it seems like he's burned bridges, you know, across the community, and you know, yeah. Now that I'm talking about it, it's like,
I'm a little bit more concerned about like the I guess like at events or at a game store or anything like that. Just like I mean, most, I guess, tournament organizers and companies that run that stuff take that pretty seriously, to the point that, like, I mean, there's been somebody that was kicked from attending any Pokemon events because of the fact that they were threatening to slap somebody at them. So
yeah, I can talk about it. Like, so, you know, I spoke with the store manager, like, for that card shop in particular, and it's just an awkward situation because it was, you know, a first year anniversary event, so there was a lot of people in the shop. There was an event to run. Everyone was happy and, you know, had positive vibes. So I don't blame the store manager for the reaction, which was, you know, they told us, hey, there was camera footage, first of all, and they told us that, you know, if they were to review the camera footage, one of us would be banned. And so, you know, I haven't spoken with the store manager since, but I think after today, I've decided that, you know, I'm going to officially file a police report, you know, ask for the footage in conjunction with the police, and do all that. I just want to make sure that, you know, I'm safe when I attend events, and that, you know, he realizes that there are actual repercussions to his actions, and, you know, and be trying to fight people. That's pretty simple.
Yeah, there's no need for it, even if you disagree with someone. To the fullest extent, there's not really any reason to get violent or physically assault anyone.
No, yeah.
Or even threaten to, even like verbal threats of harassment, or just, there's no place for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, when he did that to me, I was just like, whoa, like, did this really happen? I mean, it's not like I was hurt or anything, but you don't expect to.
No, it's not. You wouldn't think that it would escalate to that level. I mean, it's not like they were banging his wife or something. Like, you weren't banging his wife, right?
No, I have a fiance. I love her very much.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But yeah, is there anything?
I think that's pretty much it. If there's anything else that you think of, then you can send me a message, and we can, I guess, follow up if there is anything that happens with the footage.
I would encourage, just there was that incident that I mentioned about the physical assault in the friend's home. The victim actually came out and spoke to me, and he actually released the text messages on Twitter. So, you know, if you guys can dig into that, you can reach out to, I think his name's like Mustang Kelly. There's also a lot of other, you know, run-ins that Roboskillz has had. So if you were to pursue this, there's a lot of evidence, and a lot of testimonials to his bad reputation. Yeah, that's all I can say.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing the story. And we'll have to do some digging. We'll see what else there is to it. See if he wants to make a statement on it. That's pretty much it.
I hope his statement is, my bad for doing it, and I'll never do it again, and then we can just squash it and move on.
You would hope so, but
yeah, probably not.
I'm here with RBK, who is going to share some experiences between him and Robo. I'll let him take the wheel here. and let us know what the story is, what their origin story was, how they met, what kind of business they did together, and what was the final outcome of that.
All right, so I'm RBK. I also own the Pokemon RV. I've been to a bunch of Collecticons, and I've known Robo for probably 2 years. I was in the Bay Area originally, so he would come over to my house, hang out. He's actually on the Pokemon RV too. He helped me get sponsors and stuff like that, so I thought we were pretty close. But I eventually moved up to Portland, and he came and stayed with me. He was visiting. We went and did a bunch of things, checked out a bunch of card shops, and he was here for, I think it was 4 days. I don't remember exactly, but he was supposed to stay at my house for like 6 days. There was a little back and forth before it, so I streamed on Twitch and a few other platforms, and the stream before the incident, the day before the incident, he kind of like was kind of digging a little deep with some jokes and stuff like that, and kind of like taking over and like telling everybody on my stream to follow him, and it was a really weird vibe. So like people reached out to me and they're like, hey man, like what he did wasn't cool. So I talked to him the next day and I was like, bro, there's people that reached out to me and said that wasn't cool, and I do think it was kind of messed up. Like that wasn't really nice of you to do. And we were talking at dinner the next day, and he's like eventually he came around. He's like, yeah, man, I didn't really mean it like that, and kind of apologized, and we kind of like talked it out. I thought that was really resolved, but later in the day he asked like for proof, like who said it, like what they said. I was like, that doesn't really matter. It's like people noticed and it affected me, so I'm just telling you, man, because I'm like, I thought we were friends. And he kind of let it go. I thought we were in a good place. So we get back to my house. It's like 10 o'clock or something like that. I have to go do a bunch of shipping for the sales I had to get out before we went to the next Collecticon event. And he's like, bro, I really need to stream. I was like, all right, dude, go upstairs, use my computer, whatever you want, man. Just go stream, sell what you got to sell. I'm going to be down here handling shipping. I think it was like 20, 30 minutes. I get all the stuff together and I come upstairs where I print all the shipping labels and stuff. I get upstairs and he's got my Discord DMs open, looking at what people said about him. And I know I didn't leave those open because I don't respond to Discord DMs on my computer. I just never have it up. It's always on my phone. And he read through all of my DMs. And one of the people that messaged me was pretty much said exactly what I said, where like someone reached out, said that what he did was messed up and it's not cool that he did it. And nothing really egregious. It was I think verbatim for what I told him earlier in the day. And I could just tell he was mad. And I was like, bro, what's wrong? I was like, I told you all of that. And he's like, just kind of got this look on his face, like really angry look. And I'm like, bro, we talked about this. I thought we were cool. And it was like, and it just escalated from there. He like started, he's like, you should have fucking stood up for me. Sorry for the language. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss, but
oh no, like, I do it all the time. I shouldn't. But
all right, cool. So he's like, you should have fucking stuck up for me. I was like, bro, what he said is true. Like, what you did wasn't cool. He didn't say like you're a piece of shit. He just said that it wasn't cool, and you really shouldn't let him back on if he's going to do that. And I was like, yeah, I won't if he's going to do that. And I was like, everything that you read is exactly what I said. And then he answers, like he responds to the guy that DM'd me. He goes, it's like, you're a piece of shit. Robo's my friend. You're wrong. Like, and responds to him. I could find it.
He responds on your Discord to someone else?
He responded on my Discord
pretending to be you.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, but that's not where it gets crazy. And then he escalates it more and more, and he it's like I'm trying to de-escalate it, and I don't really want to fight someone in my house, but he's just like escalating, and then he goes, I should punch you square in the face right fucking now. I don't care if you're bigger than me. I should do it. And I'm like, all right, bro, if you want to, that's fine, but I've told you everything. And then he just keeps escalating. He threw my keyboard. And at that point, I'm getting pretty furious because I'm like, you just threw something of mine. It's like, I don't know if it's broken. He keeps yelling, and I'm like trying to calm down, trying to de-escalate it. He's not having any of it. Then he throws my chair into my slab wall that I have behind me in my room. So he just threw one of my foldable chairs against the wall. And at that point, I'm like on tipping edge. And then my wife comes in, freaks out on him. And then at that point, it's either I have to escalate this or kick him out. So I kick him out. I'm like, you got to leave right fucking now. And he's not wanting to leave. So I eventually got him out of the house. And then after I get him out of the house, I'm like, if you want to talk, we can talk outside like adults. And mind you, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I live in suburbia. So like there's kids in elementary school, middle school, high school. Like there's a ton of kids. So it's a really young, like they go to bed at normal times. And he's outside in front of my house just screaming.
The neighbors are not going to appreciate that.
Yeah, just screaming. And I'm like, bro, if you want to talk, I'll talk. If you want to fucking yell, just leave. And he just keeps escalating it. So I go inside because my wife tells me to just go because he's waking up all the fucking neighbors. So I go inside, and I sent you the text that I had between him. I felt bad because I was like, I kicked him out at midnight, even though like he threatened me. I was like, if you need to stay somewhere, you can stay. Like I had the Pokemon RV because I was getting ready to leave for an event. I was like, if you need to stay somewhere, you can sleep in the RV. You can't come back in this house, but you can stay here. And he just keeps like berating me, like saying I'm wrong. And I think the thing that pissed me off the most is that like my wife was like afraid that night that he was going to come back while we were sleeping, and I was like, all right, now we have a problem. And like, nah, I feel like my wife shouldn't have been involved. He continued to text me, and I don't know if you read through them, but like at one point I was just like, bro, you don't need to apologize to me. You need to apologize for what you did to my wife. Doesn't take ownership, but he didn't deny anything he did. He's just like, it's all your fault. You're the piece of shit. You're a lying snake, all this stuff. And I'm like, you threatened me in my house, threatened to fight me, threw stuff, hit, like, I don't know, like he messed up 2 of my pop figures, but like still damaged property. And he's like throwing stuff in my house after I let him stay with me, after I thought he was a friend. And he just like never took ownership of that. Kept texting me, and I just didn't respond. There's probably 10, 12 messages where I'm like, I'm done. I'm not dealing with this. Like, you can't understand that what you did was wrong. And I think the thing that really, really made me mad is that the last text from him was from May. And that was like a month or two. I think it was a month after the whole incident. And then 6 months passed by. My uncle died of cancer relatively quickly, so I was going through a bunch of stuff, and I kind of disconnected from like the Pokemon community because I like all social media, all conventions, all that stuff. Because it affected me a lot. So I was just really disconnected, and then he has the audacity to text me 6 months later saying how I'm a piece of shit and I've never apologized, and that he's glad that I'm out of this community and never come back. And I was like, I haven't talked to him in 6 months. I haven't said a word to him in 6 months, and he doesn't know what I went through in those 6 months.
Were you banned from Twitch or anything, or was it just that you weren't streaming on Twitch anymore?
I was banned from Twitch, but it was I had someone on my stream and did a podcast. He shared his story, and they were public documents. And even though they were public documents, they had like information on it that wasn't allowed to be shared. And I didn't know. I thought since they were on the internet and public that they were allowed, and he shared stuff that got me banned. So yeah, I was banned for a little bit. I'm not banned anymore. That was my lack of knowledge, because I thought if I had the party that was there and it was public record, then he could talk about it. Which is not allowed, even if it's
just like too much like personal information or something.
Yeah, so public records, you can look up every court doc, and it has like name of the lawyers and stuff and names of people, and that's not allowed on Twitch, I guess.
Okay.
But I didn't know that. But I had the guy that was the other side of the party come in, and I was like, "It's your floor. Tell your story," and it wasn't allowed on it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't mean to derail there. I just wanted to clarify
No,
the messages.
Yeah,
because he was kind of like sending you messages, kind of like rubbing it in, or saying like, "Hey,
yeah,
you're not on Twitch anymore. No wonder." Something.
Yeah, he was trying to get under my skin, and it wasn't working. So he was trying to find different ways to like try to like one up me, and I don't know, stroke his ego a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I didn't respond to any of it. He left stuff here that was probably worth a couple $100. Brought it to the convention for him, gave it to him without a problem. I was like,
The Pikachu or whatever.
Yeah, there was like 4 or 5 boxes or something like that, and it was already in the RV by the time like he texted me, and I'm like if I really hated the guy, I wouldn't have like already brought it and given it to him without an issue. Like it's like I thought he was my friend, and he says, "Oh, we were never friends," like to people on his like comments and stuff. Now it's like we've done charity events together. We've done a couple of different things together. Like we hung out a bunch. We stayed at the same hotel room at Collecticon. Like it's like we've done a lot of things together.
I don't know if he's allowed to do that. If he uses your Discord account to message people saying that you're friends, I'm pretty sure doesn't that count as like some kind of admission that you were friends?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. It's like it's like trying to argue with a toddler.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It seems like that's like the general outcome of like any kind of conflict that involves them is just like it turns into some kind of like physical altercation or throwing stuff and telling someone that he's gonna punch them or stabbing somebody in the head.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. That was a little further than me. Like he threw stuff, but he never touched me.
Yeah.
But he's had multiple incidents. He had an incident last year's Collecticon at Kansas City with some guy where he got really angry. I just saw it. I didn't know what was happening. But yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of people out there that have stories, but I don't know how many people have been like threatened by them, other than Drops and I. But it's not cool. It shouldn't be allowed. And
no, there's no reason for it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
it's like the vast majority of well, I guess all the people involved and like most of the people in Pokemon, at least the adult side of it, is like should know better, I guess, at this point in time. But
yeah, I think the craziest thing to me is that as an adult, like if it was me and I got mad and I was like, "Fuck this guy," I wouldn't try to fight him in his own house. I would leave. You would just leave, be like, "All right, I'm done with it," and
then refuse to leave afterwards. Like,
yeah, it's like I had to. Like, I honestly thought I was gonna have to call the cops to get him out of my house when it was happening. But it's like the adult in the situation would have gotten up and been like, "Fuck you, I'm leaving," and just leave. Not threaten to fight him. Not threaten to like throw shit. Like there's just like there's a lot of different ways that an adult could have handled it, but it was just a very aggressive situation, and yeah, it just wasn't cool.
No, not at all. Well, thank you very much for sharing.
No problem, man.
That's it. That's all for now, at least. Thanks for tuning in. Join the Discord, and remember, guys, please. Violence is not the answer. This isn't grade school. We're not meeting at the flagpole after school here. It's unacceptable. You're an adult now. Act like one.